Get all the way out before you choose to snap it. If you don't, I'll shut it down because it's his safety.
Everything ain't fast, it's slow, it's how we think.
Sanders into the trap.
4 or 5 man pressure. They're going to play man across the board. Hey, if defense is playing man to man, they're turning their back. Shedeur Sanders, he identifies the defense is in man to man coverage, so nobody is watching him. He also identifies the defense does not have contain. He escapes out the pocket on 3rd and 9. He picks up the first down. He slides down to safety. Check for Shedeur Sanders. Let's keep it rolling. All right, here's what I love. You see condensed splits by the Cleveland Browns. Both the receivers are inside the numbers, so they're probably going to want to work outside. Shedeur, you got to identify, are they in man on defense or are they in zone? Last second, this cornerback, he backpedals, and you can quickly, pretty fairly on tell, okay, they're inside of a pattern match zone. Shedeur, he's going right here with the football, but here is what you have to understand. If this defensive back has eyes on Shedeur and he drops off too quickly, this can be a pick. This can be going the other way. So Shedeur, he gets the ball out of his hands, but the accuracy of this football between not one but 2 defenders and a fully outstretched defender, pinpoint perfect. The accuracy of that ball, pinpoint perfect.
Think the NFL is all touchdowns and tackles? Think again. There's a whole hidden playbook in motion, and Emmanuel Acho just cracked it wide open. Shedeur Sanders isn't stepping onto the field just to throw passes, he's here to rattle the league to its core. And according to Acho, the NFL's real feelings about that? Let's just say they're not exactly sending him a welcome basket. This is a behind-the-scenes saga loaded with insider whispers, shocking revelations, and enough gridiron intrigue to keep you glued to every word. Strap in, this one's about to get wild.
That's just flat out ball out. Now, we know that there's still some naysayers out there that don't want to believe it, and it's okay. But there is this one person that want to shut all the naysayers up and show Shedeur Sanders, well, not show Shedeur Sanders, but show how good Shedeur Sanders really is. And that is Emmanuel Acho. And we're going to get
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. Emmanuel Acho just delivered exactly what every NFL couch commentator has been waiting for. He went full Sherlock Holmes on this Shedeur Sanders drama and started unloading truth bombs about the league's supposed agenda. You know, that behind-the-scenes scheme fans have been whispering about between sips of their sports drinks? Acho bulldozed through the gossip and speculation like a linebacker obliterating a weak offensive line. His breakdown played out like the NFL's version of a binge-worthy reality show, only instead of tears and petty squabbles, it was loaded with crisp analysis, verified facts, and those jaw-dropping "wait, did he just say that?" moments that make you want to hit rewind and watch again.
One of the most anticipated preseason football games that we can remember. It was perfect timing for Shedeur Sanders to get the start, despite being listed as a team full-string quarterback.
Yeah, they called his dad primetime for a reason. Even if it was a preseason game, you knew the lights would be shining bright on Shedeur, and there is no question that he was looking good, feeling good, and playing good in his first ever NFL action.
First off, you've got to admire Acho's timing. It wasn't just good, it was surgically precise. Not poetic precise, because that sounds calm and classy, and Acho's delivery was anything but. Think more like a squirrel on a triple shot of cold brew, darting straight at the critics bold enough to doubt Shedeur's skills. Some folks had already written him off as nothing more than a photogenic legacy kid writing on Coach Prime's name, or worse, a flashy highlight reel built for Twitter likes. Acho shut that down instantly, no hesitation, no sugarcoating. He came out firing, dismantling every lazy take, and left no doubt in the room. Shedeur isn't just talk, he's the real deal.
Shedeur Sanders, I told you that 144th seal fell upon him in the draft, and the only thing that could have made last night better, because I thought it was perfect, better was if your boy catches that first slant route and Shedeur ends up with 144 yards. Yeah.
Emmanuel Acho didn't just wave a magic wand and casually crown Shedeur with greatness, he went full archaeologist, meticulously brushing away every last crumb of doubt like it was dirt concealing a priceless artifact. This wasn't a passing comment, It was a surgical demolition of every flimsy excuse NFL skeptics have hurled at Shedeur's talent. Honestly, you'd think these critics had been in a deep coma through his entire college career, because Acho rolled out the receipts so clearly that even the most distracted fans scrolling their phone mid-game couldn't miss them. Step by step, he dismantled the lazy takes and replaced them with undeniable, airtight facts. And his bottom line? That infamous NFL agenda isn't just barbershop gossip, it's very real, very active, and quite possibly the league's favorite hobby. Right up there with Monday Night Football. And those painfully awkward halftime performances nobody asked for, yet somehow keep making the cut.
He took it to social media today, alright? Right after the game. He took it straight to social media. He didn't want to wait till he got on his main platform. He did it in his own house. Because it's that serious to him. To show you naysayers how good Shedeur Sanders really is. In which he stated in social media, this is exactly what he said, okay? If anybody doubts that Shedeur Sanders' game will translate to the NFL, just show them this and shush them up.
Let's dive deeper into this so-called agenda Emmanuel Acho is putting under the microscope. What exactly are we talking about here? Well, according to Acho, it's the NFL's sneaky little playbook designed to downplay Shedeur Sanders. And no, this isn't about some ordinary player. This is a guy who's been lighting it up on the field like a firecracker at a 4th of July party, yet somehow the league wants to act like he's just warming up on the sidelines. The agenda, as Acho exposes it, isn't just some random bias, it's a full-blown covert operation to convince everyone Shedeur isn't ready for the NFL spotlight. Picture this, a dimly lit room full of NFL bigwigs, think mustache-twirling villains straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon, sipping on their 10th cup of cold coffee, plotting how to slow-roll Shedeur's rise without ever saying it out loud. There's probably a dusty memo titled something like How to Keep Shedeur in the Shadows While Letting Other Guys Have the Spotlight, gathering cobwebs on some forgotten shelf. Why? Because the league apparently gets nervous when a young quarterback with a famous last name shows flashes of brilliance. It's like they're scared the whole place might shake if the name Sanders gets too loud.
If you look at the stats, you'd clearly see that Shedeur Sanders is already the 4th best QB in Browns team history.
Yep.
He's thrown 0 interceptions, which is a franchise record, and he's lost 0 games, so he's undefeated.
Yep.
So by my ranking, I currently have Shedeur Sanders at number 4 behind Bernie Kosar, Joe Flacco, and Spurgeon Wynn.
But here's Acho's hot take. This so-called agenda is nothing but wishful thinking from folks who don't know talent when it's staring them straight in the face, wide open on a 70-yard touchdown pass. He calls out the NFL brass for underestimating Shedeur's skills, pointing out that these executives are stuck in the past, clinging to their outdated playbook instead of recognizing that this kid's got what it takes to dominate. So yeah, the agenda is real if by real you mean a bunch of old guys losing their grip on what actual football talent looks like. And Acho isn't buying any of it. And speaking of bombs, Shedeur's pre-debut game was basically him launching missiles. This wasn't your average rookie jitters situation where the kid throws the ball like he's tossing a wet noodle across the room. No, this was a full-on NFL highlight reel audition, and Acho was front row shouting at anyone who'd listen, pay attention. Because when Shedeur's on the field, it's like watching a highlight factory in real time. Acho didn't just stop at calling out the haters, though. Oh no, he decided to educate the masses with a little football 101. He explained why Shedeur's skill set isn't just NFL ready, it's NFL thrilling. The guy's got the arm, the brains, and the guts to make it. You know those rare quarterbacks who can see the whole field like they have eyes on the back of their helmet? Shedeur's one of those, Acho insists, and if you disagree, you probably think the earth is flat too.
Tonight, Shedeur Sanders made the entire National Football League look like a whole bunch of petty fools. In some cases, racist fools. In many cases, Deion-despising fools. Tonight at Carolina, Shedeur Sanders made all those teams that had 143 chances to draft him before he went 144.
What's hilarious is how Acho basically turned the whole Shedeur can't play in the NFL theory into a conspiracy theory that would make even the most paranoid YouTube commentators blush. According to Acho's breakdown, the NFL agenda is this invisible force trying to keep Shedeur under the radar. But why? Because if Shedeur starts lighting up fields and breaking records, that narrative about him being just a legacy goes up in flames. And no one likes their fake news to get burned. Now, let's not pretend this isn't also a little bit about daddy's shadow looming large. Everyone knows that when your dad is a legend, the world's expectations go through the roof like a rocket launch. Shedeur Sanders isn't just carrying his own dreams, he's got the weight of a family legacy, and some annoying analysts trying to pick him apart. But Acho's point? Shedeur isn't just surviving this pressure, he's thriving. The kid isn't just passing the test. He's acing it while wearing sunglasses and smirking. Acho's whole vibe was basically this: you can't fake what Shedeur's showing on the field. Talent like this doesn't come with a use with caution label. It's raw, it's real, and it's exactly what the NFL needs to shake things up. And here's the kicker, Acho wasn't just defending Shedeur's talent. He was calling out the so-called experts who were busy writing off this guy before he even laced up his cleats for a real NFL game.
He is going to be bigger in Cleveland than LeBron James ever was. Shedeur Sanders, how can you hate on the guy anymore? Come on now, this is QB1 in Cleveland, and nobody's telling me otherwise, alright? I love Joe Flacco more than anybody else, and that's the one guy I'd be like, alright, if they want to start him to start the year over Sanders, that's okay. At the very least, Shedeur Sanders is QB number 2 in Cleveland. I respect Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel's alright, and Tyler Huntley won't be on the team in a couple weeks, but Shedeur Sanders proves the haters wrong. What are they going to say now about Shedeur Sanders?
Watching Emmanuel Acho break down Shedeur Sanders' performance was like seeing a nerdy professor step into the high school cafeteria and absolutely roast the cool kids. Except instead of textbooks and lectures, Acho's weapons were cold, hard stats, jaw-dropping plays, and a whole lot of unfiltered passion. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of fire the NFL world desperately needs right now, because Shedeur isn't just another rookie story to scroll past. No, he's a potential headline act, the main event. And Acho made it crystal clear that anyone who's still doubting him is just pretending not to notice the obvious. Think back to those typical preseason games where most rookies look like deer caught in headlights, running around confused like they just got dropped into the middle of a chess match without knowing the rules. Well, Shedeur? The guy looked like he was born to do this. While other rookies were probably still figuring out how to tie their cleats without face-planting, Shedeur was out there throwing darts, evading defenders like he was on some sort of secret mission, and making entire defensive lines look like they were in a slapstick comedy sketch. You could almost hear the defenders asking, wait, am I supposed to tackle him or join the circus?
He went out there today and proved all of them wrong. When I look at that game, I saw a man that had precision, a man that had pocket ability, a man that had poise, a man that had nice arm, a man that made great choices and great decisions out there with the ball.
If Shedeur Sanders isn't NFL ready after that kind of debut, then maybe it's time to throw in the towel on humans playing quarterback and start training hamsters instead. Because honestly, at least hamsters wouldn't be fumbling the ball that badly. Emmanuel Acho didn't hold back when he laid out the truth. Shedeur's performance wasn't just promising, it was flat out impressive, borderline electric. The kid's got defenders chasing shadows, looking like they're stuck in slow motion while he's making those crisp throws and lightning-fast decisions. That's not just good, that's a statement nobody can ignore. But, of course, the haters had to show up with their usual complaints, nitpicking the way Shedeur runs his routes, criticizing his throws like there's some sort of cosmic injustice, or questioning that signature deep ball of his, which honestly looks like it was guided by angels. Acho was quick to call out those clueless folks, comparing them to people who constantly complain about their Wi-Fi but refuse to reboot the router. It makes no sense. The truth is, Shedeur's game is evolving every time he steps on the field, and trying to write him off before he's even had a full season is like judging a novel by its cover, except this book has already delivered some killer chapters. The NFL hype machine better get on board because Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future, he's starting to own the present. And honestly, anyone ignoring that is just choosing to be blind.
You stay ready, and when your chance comes, you go out there and shine. And I'm not saying his numbers was magnificent, but if you watch him play and everybody else around him being happy while he's in the game and him moving in and around in the pocket and making things happen, I've seen some things that made me say, this guy's a 5th round draft pick. You out your goddamn mind.
You've got to absolutely love how Emmanuel Acho took that whole agenda chatter swirling around Shedeur Sanders and turned it into a hilarious roast session. Instead of letting it become some dry, boring debate about bias or conspiracy theories, Acho flipped the script and made it all about pure skill and hustle. It's like he's standing there, waving a big red flag right in the face of anyone trying to say the NFL is somehow holding Shedeur back. You want an agenda? Look closer, Acho seems to say. Because this kid is out here running circles around every doubter, every hater, every narrative that tries to box him in. What's really refreshing is how Acho's approach cuts through all the usual sports chatter that often sounds like corporate press releases disguised as commentary. You know the type, the greatest team ever or game-changer lines that get repeated so much they lose all meaning. But Acho? Nah, he's not here to sugarcoat or politely dodge the drama. He's here to call out the nonsense, the petty biases, and the baseless doubts. And in the middle of all this, he's celebrating Shedeur's talent and fire. This kid isn't just stepping onto the field, he's making a statement loud and clear that the doubters better sit down and shut up. Acho's basically handing out fries on the side, telling everyone, enjoy the show, because this kid is about to serve up some serious highlights, no agenda, just pure, unfiltered skill. It's sports commentary with a dash of sass, and honestly, we need more of that.
There's a lot of people incarcerated that definitely talk to their friends and talk to me to tell me my friend from jail is, you know, watching you play and watching everything that's going on. So it's just like, the world, you know, I say is so small and everybody.
Speaking of eating words, you can just imagine the salty flood from critics and doubters after Shedeur's breakout game. Those same voices that once dismissed him suddenly found themselves scrambling for explanations, trying to make sense of a performance that didn't fit their narrative. Emmanuel Acho probably caught wind of all this noise and had a good chuckle to himself, knowing full well that he had just delivered a verbal mic drop on behalf of Shedeur. It's one thing to be a naturally talented athlete, blessed with skills on the field, but it's a whole other level when you've got someone like Acho, a sharp, witty commentator with a knack for cutting through the nonsense, defending you and tearing apart the ridiculous criticism like a hot knife through butter. But this story goes beyond football. It's a masterclass on dealing with the doubters and trolls who always seem to come out of the woodwork whenever someone new tries to make a mark. Acho's message is clear and powerful. Ignore the noise, focus on what you can control, your game, your craft, and when the spotlight finally hits, don't just shine quietly in the background. No, blaze with all the intensity you've got. That's exactly what Shedeur is doing, blazing a trail and proving all the haters wrong with every play. If you still can't see the brilliance on display, maybe it's time for a new pair of glasses.
Alright now, Shedeur Sanders went 14 for 23, 2 touchdowns, 4 rushes, 19 carries last night. And this is the perfect talking point of saying when opportunity meets preparation.
And don't miss the bigger picture that Acho hinted at. This isn't just about one player's success. It's a challenge to the entire NFL establishment, which often seems stuck in its old ways, clinging to outdated narratives and resisting change. Acho is basically throwing down the gauntlet, daring the league to either embrace fresh talent and new ideas that can elevate the game or risk getting left behind in the dust. If you ask me, Acho's rant was the sports equivalent of a TED Talk delivered by a comedian who just discovered football analytics. It was equal parts hilarious, savage, and enlightening. And most importantly, it gave Shedeur Sanders the spotlight he deserves, while roasting the NFL's imaginary conspiracy theories like a perfectly cooked marshmallow over a campfire. So next time someone tries to tell you Shedeur isn't NFL material, just remember Acho's masterclass. He didn't just defend Shedeur, He annihilated the critics with the kind of passion and wit that makes you want to stand up and cheer. Or at least snort laugh at how absurd the whole agenda theory really is. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal, and Emmanuel Acho just served up the receipts in the most entertaining way possible. It's a win for fans, a roast for haters, and a solid reminder that sometimes, the truth is not only stranger than fiction, it's way funnier too.